How's it going, everyone? It's your girl Rocket Gal, and welcome to another summoning session. It is the Fallen Heroes banner of this year. We've got it's basically just Engage and Blazing Blade. Definitely wasn't expecting just 2 games, but Blazing Blade's pretty awesome, and Engage is awesome as well, so pretty excited. Let's get into it. Yeah, I think Fallen Vale was almost a given, just because Vale's pretty popular. Fallen Vale is pretty well known that she was evil for a little bit, so yeah. I definitely was not expecting Nurgle. I expected him to be in the game eventually, but maybe not as a Fallen unit, you know? I still don't understand that concept really, how he's Fallen. I mean, you could say that about any evil person in the series, right? Like, I don't know. But it's still really cool that he's in the game. Yeah. And if you're curious, here are what the rates look like. If you're going for Nurgle, you're going to be pretty happy because green, as always, is pretty dang good. Alright, we got Arthur, the Furious Mage. Hell yeah. Nice, nice. I always really like this Arthur's art. Pretty awesome. Alright. Cool, cool. Great way to start the summoning session with a 5-star. Pretty cool. So yeah, the rates are, you know, green good, everything else bad, but again, nothing super new. Colorless got slightly worse with the addition of Yulia and Yukimura, but you know, it is what it is, right? They just need to add more green units to the regular summoning pool, and things will balance out. You know, the 4 nations will live in harmony again. Speaking of Fiasco, yeah, great segue, right, Rocket Gal? But, so I actually have a little bit of a story to tell. I had some issues with my iPad, so I think what happened was I used, like, a cheap knockoff, like, wire for my, iPad, which caused the charging port to not work anymore because at one point my iPad wasn't charging. It could only be charged if I attached it to like a keyboard attachment. I could do it that way, but not through the port itself, which sucks because it's important for me to use that port for like streaming and stuff. So I need to get a new iPad, so I got a new iPad. However, this was before I realized there was that new iPad announcement. So that was pretty awkward. Turns out I couldn't return my new iPad because it was outside the 2-week return window, and that really sucked because I really want that new iPad, and I still got it because I always like getting the newest, greatest technology for the most part, and that iPad seemed pretty nice. Definitely wanted to get it, but since I already had this new iPad and I couldn't return it, I just traded it back for its trade-in value, but it went from it was like $800-ish dollars. Trade-in value was $470, so that was like a minus like $330 for me, which really sucked. I probably should just try to appeal to Apple. I feel like Apple customer service might be reasonable, maybe, but well, you know, it is what it is. The new iPad's coming next week, so I don't think there's going to be any drastic change in video quality or anything, but I think it's going to be pretty cool. And my old iPad was pretty old. I was using that since college, studying for exams and stuff. It was to the point where it had some touchscreen issues. So they weren't like major touchscreen issues, but they were issues that were noticeable from time to time. So I'm just glad that either way, no matter how painful and expensive this whole ordeal is, I'm getting a new iPad. So yeah. So yeah, long and very expensive mistake on my end, but it is what it is. Another thing I want to discuss about was the latest story chapter. I thought it was kind of boring. There weren't really too many story chapters. It was just like the first mission and the last mission. And it turns out Henriette had her mind taken control of by a new character that we have not seen. I'm not sure exactly who it was. I don't remember who their name was. Yeah, it's interesting. Although, again, the story, while it could be interesting, it's a little bit on the boring side because it's just these people trying to kill like our main characters. Okay, we got a wolf. Coyote's loyal. Nice. I love Life and Death 4 fodder, even though it has been power crept. Panic Smoke 3 though, not too bad. I just wish he was as broken as he is in Shadow Dragon. Not so much here, but it's still cool to get a wolf. Really like wolf a lot. Definitely one of my favorites to use in Shadow Dragon. My favorite Fire Emblem game of all time. So cool to get him. Yeah, the story was pretty boring for the most part. There's some suspense. I feel like they're building it up for next month, but the story so far, there hasn't been much going on, which is a little disappointing. I'm hoping there's gonna, like, the mid and like late story is gonna be pretty interesting, because right now I can't say that I'm super engaged right now. But yeah, we'll see what the writers have in store for them. Surely it could be better than 7, right? Because 7 was yeah, that one's not my favorite story. I'll just say that. The nicest way possible. By the way, another thing I wanted to discuss were the refines we got this month. We got like 7 or 8. We got a lot. So if you really like these, I hope you're prepared to be spending a lot of Divine Dew. So yeah, let's just go over them one by one. The first one I want to talk about was Byleth. I think generally I'd say Byleth got the best refine and remix. Well, refine. I haven't really tested out the other ones too much yet. But Byleth I've been pretty pleased with, even if it's not like broken or anything. So in Sublime Heaven 2, he gets Time's Pulse, which frees up his C slot, which is pretty nice. And also adds up a bit more damage, so that's always appreciated in power creep and whatnot. So that's pretty good for him. In terms of his weapon, he gets +9 to all stats, and he also gets extra to his attack and speed based off the number of allies in 3 rows or 3 columns. So that's really nice. And then he has speed based, no follow up for his allies. Yeah, instead of it being like drive, it's between 3 rows or 3 columns. So it's kind of like the gatekeeper support, which is pretty nice. It's a lot more flexible. Byleth doesn't really have to tail the ally. He can just stay in the back, which is pretty good. And then he also has full tempo. Full tempo is always really good to have, especially in this day and age where there's so much like guard and stuff going on. It's good to have tempo, even if some units have bypassed that by having special deceleration or acceleration at the start of combat. But it's still nice to get full tempo. And then he also has 30% DR, which, it's not bad. Pierceable, of course, but, it's still pretty good. I'd say Byleth is not meta-breaking, but pretty dang good. And I don't say this out of cope just because I have a +10 Byleth, but I genuinely think he's not bad. Not crazy, but not garbage. Let's just put it that way. He'll always have a little bit of usage just because he gives some attack and speed to his allies, and speed-based no follow-up is good for the most part. But yeah, it's not as great as Legendary Chrom. Let's just put it that way. Next is Sigurd. Sigurd's another one that I was really looking forward to because he is also at +10. He was more of an accident because I just kept summoning him throughout the years, and I just thought, I don't really care about his fodder too much. I might as well merge him. I like Sigurd a lot. So Holy Knight 2, it does a little bit more damage. It goes from 25% to 30% of his attack, which is, it's nice. It's probably barely noticeable, but it's nice. And then he also, additionally, what they added on was that he, at the start, or not at the start, but for him and his allies, he gives the 40% damage reduction status. I believe he gives it to him at the start of turn and to his allies after he procs Holy Knight too. And you know, this is pierceable and everything, but for units that are engaging, usually defensive units don't have DR anyways for the most part, so for units who are, if he's supporting units that are engaging, this is not too bad. It's pretty good, I'd say. And then in terms of his weapon, he gives +9 to all stats, plus a clash-like stat gain, so depending on how many spaces he moves. Oh, Letizia! Okay, the Curse Director. Was not expecting her, but pleasantly surprised. I always thought she was pretty cool, even though I don't remember what she did in this story. I think she died. Pretty sure she died. I always like this special art. Really cool. She's dunking on everyone. Very nice. That's another pity break. It is what it is, but yeah, it's a little bit painful. You could have been a Nurgle, but whatever. It is what it is, you know. I don't want to complain too much. Anyways, back to Sigurd's weapon. So yeah, apart from the extra stats he gets, he also gets another 40% damage reduction. So that is about 60-ish% damage reduction total, when you combine with his Holy Knight too, which is not bad. He gets HP healing, 7 HP healing. He gets Canto remaining +1. That is actually really nice. It frees up his B slot, which is probably why they gave him the Seal Defense 4. Which is, while it's not like super good, it's not super bad. So, yeah, there's that. And then he also deals 15% of his attack as true damage. So, yeah, not too bad. Anyways, we're at the Spark. So, we haven't gotten a focus unit yet. So, I guess we'll go for Lumera first, just because she is a rearm unit. And of all the units I want extra copies of, it is probably going to be Lumera. Alright, here she is. She looks really cool. This art is kind of creepy though. Holy shit, pretty awesome. I am Lumera, a dragon resurrected by the power of Lord Sombron. I am here to see my beloved child. Ooh, creepy. Alright, here she is. By the way, fun fact, I'm pretty sure her voice actress is the same one who voices Echidna. So that is pretty awesome. Yeah, here she is. This art is pretty nice. It is actually really creepy, like genuinely creepy. I like what they did with their eyes. They look a little Uncanny Valley-esque. Yeah, pretty awesome art. Really like this a lot. And then her skills that she comes with, Counter Roar 4 is whatever. It's not bad, but I think there's better B skills for beasts and dragons. And then Speed Res Scout 4, it's fine, but you'd rather have one that has attack, you know? You'd rather have attack speed or attack Res Scout 4, I feel like. You just always want to have attack for the most part. But yeah, pretty cool. Alright, let's keep going. Anyways, we're talking about Sigurd. Anyways, I think Sigurd is pretty alright. I don't think he's gonna be meta influential anymore, but I think he's gonna be decent in like either his defense. He should be pretty okay, but yeah, he's nowhere near as dominant as he was before. I don't think that's ever going to be the case ever again, which is unfortunate because I do really like him a lot. But you know, it is what it is. I guess I didn't want to power creep him too much or anything, so it is what it is. Next is Fallen Leon. This is another one I was really looking forward to. I thought Fallen Leon when he first came out was super cool because of his tome animation. Let's see what he got. So he has 20% of resistance. True. Oh, nice. We got Nurgle, the Trader of Nabata. I am Nurgle, and this is Asker. Its cracks and crevices are filled with fine quintessence, just waiting for me. Alright, I don't think I pulled off the Nurgle voice or anything, but yeah, finally cool to get him. Does he want res? Probably wants attack, but res is probably fine. Look at that fodder. C bonus doubler. Don't know who I'd give that to necessarily. I think Nurgle could probably do better with like a finish skill, but C bonus doubler is not bad, so pretty cool. Special Spiral 4 is pretty nice as well. I know it's like not everyone's #1 pick for a Beast anymore, but it's still really solid. And yeah, definitely, what is it? Essence Drain is gonna be amazing. I think this is gonna be a really cool effect to have, and definitely watch out for him in modes like Summoner Duels, because I think he will definitely be useful, for sure. For sure. Alright, hopefully we can get more Nurgles from this. They're all green, so, yeah. Anyways, back to Lyon's, refine here, so yeah. 20% of his resistance as true damage. His resistance is pretty high, so that's pretty decent. But most importantly, he gives himself cancel affinity, and he inflicts enemies with triangle adept. So, what is he trying to do? What he is trying to do essentially is to punish his colorless and blue matchups even more, and then to make his red and his green matchups neutral, because if you cancel out the effect of triangle adept, it will like counteract against the natural triangle advantage that a red unit would have. You know what I mean? So I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's essentially what it does. At least that's how I am reading it and interpreting it. Which is really weird. I haven't really interacted with triangle, like the weapon triangle as much. I mean, it's still pretty important, you know, but it's not like refined, focus worthy, you know. This is like mainly, like that's all they're really worried about, the triangle advantage shit, which is not that impactful. So that's why I think this refine is very weird. It's a shame he didn't get any turn-ending effects. I think that might be kind of broken for a unit who's in the normal summon pool, but it still would have been pretty cool, not gonna lie. He also comes with guard and a guaranteed follow-up attack. Unfortunately, the guaranteed follow-up attack is cancelable by like no follow-up skills, so that's not super good. So Lyon is a bit of a disappointment. I still got his refine because I like Lyon. But in terms of, is it good? I kind of don't think so, unfortunately. It pains me to say this because I love Lyon, but I don't think that refine is good at all. I mean, it's not bad. You know, it's not bad, and for full invested Lyons, you know, this is great. This is a good improvement. I can't speak today. It's a good improvement, but it's not good. So it's unfortunate. Next up, this one is actually pretty interesting. It's Mia's, harmonic Mia, summer Mia, whatever you want to call her. This one I had very little interest in at first, but it turns out she got a pretty decent one. So, she gets +10, and she gets +10 plus 20% of her speed as her combat to her attack and speed. So that's a lot. Especially, I don't think she's super fast, but she's not super slow. And for max invested, my pity break. Okay, I see how it is. I see how you're playing this game. It's fine. It's fine. I'm not angry. I mean, how could I be angry, right? I got, wait, what's his name again? I forgot. Galzus, yeah. I know my Thracia. Yeah, I can't be mad at Galzus. It's not like he has an inheritable weapon that doesn't really matter or anything. Okay, fine, cool, I'll take that. We got another Fallen Lumera, nice. All right, what are her stats? Okay, this is no bueno. Do not love these stats, but it is what it is. You know, just gonna get extra copies for fodder duplication stuff. That is always the best. I'm actually curious how enemy would rank her in his rearmed unit tier list. Curious. My guess would probably be B tier, probably, but I don't know. You know, I don't know. But yeah, back to Mia. So, she gets a bunch of attack and speed, essentially. She also gets half of tempo, which is always good for offensive units. And then she gets like the Asker effect sort of situation where she times pulses both herself and her allies. If you stack this with Asker, that's really freaking good. And with like things like infantry pulse and yada yada, like that's really good. So was not expecting that, but that's always cool. And then she has full no follow up in her weapon. That's really good as well, especially for a cab unit. And yeah, overall Mia, definitely pretty impressed with her. Definitely was not expecting too much, just because I don't really care too much for the unit, but I'm intrigued. I'm honestly pretty intrigued, and honestly I'm hoping that I can find a copy of her in like Binding Worlds or something, because mine is not invested in at all, so getting her from there would be really good value. It's just up to the roll of the dice whether I find one with a good build, you know? But yeah, definitely Mia, definitely do not sleep on her. I think she is actually pretty decent now. Again, not meta-defining or anything by any means, but pretty dang good. So I would watch out for her. Next is female Chris. I found it really strange. I think most people found it really strange that they're separating female Chris and male Chris refines, because their base weapons are essentially the same thing. It's just that female Chris is a lance, while male Chris is a sword. So very odd. I think most people have also come to that conclusion, but yeah, let's see what she gets. So she gets +4 to all her stats. It's whatever. She has full tempo, not too bad. Could be pretty good for gale forcing. 40% damage reduction. Oh, we got a Tiki. Young Tiki. Very awesome. I don't know how many of her I have. Probably, if I merge her up, she might be at +6 or something. Anyways, what is her? Okay. All right. Oh, no, shut up. Anyways, back to female Chris. Yeah, so full tempo, 40% damage reduction, and then she gets true damage based off 40%, or no, 40%, imagine, 20% of her speed. That's not too bad, and she also gets 7 HP healing at the end. That might not be as good if you're making her a Gale Force Initiator, but apart from that role, it's not bad. Is this good? I mean, it's okay. Definitely not super good or anything, but it's manageable. You can work with it. So yeah, I wonder if we can expect something similar for male Chris. I would hope that they have different weapons. I would hope that if they separated out the two, then they would have different weapon refines. But IS, they might just, do something really weird, and I don't know. But yeah, Chris, I got her weapon refine. It's not the greatest, but it's not terrible. So yeah. Next up is Sayri, another unit that I did not really care about the refine of at first, but turns out it's actually not too bad. So she gets +8 to all her stats. She gets, and then this is interesting, she gets 7 flat damage reduction. It's not based off of any sort of stat or anything. It's just that she reduces the damage by 7. And then along with that, you get 40% damage reduction. So stacking percent damage reduction with flat damage reduction is pretty freaking good. We've seen this before with Brave, Brave Dimitri. So we can tell that is pretty good. Did I just get a full circle of 3 stars? Fuck me. So yeah. So Sayri, honestly, that's not too bad. She also gets cooldown charge +1, so she gets the breath effect. And then she gets 7 HP healing. We've been seeing at 7 HP healing a decent amount lately. And yeah, honestly, not terrible. The flat DR stacked with percent DR is pretty good. And then obviously get stacked with the tier 4, a dodge B skill. Of course, it is pierceable, so it's not perfect, but it could work. And situations that are not damage reduction piercing, I don't think she'd be a good user of Lagu's friend, so I wouldn't try that personally. Yeah, overall, it's not too bad, especially for a distant counter weapon. I know it's technically conditional, but let's be real here. It's basically a distant counter weapon. So yeah, Sayuri fans, I think should be pretty happy overall with the weapon. It's not meta defining, but it's pretty alright. So yeah. And last but not least, or maybe least, I don't know, is Petrine. So another unit that I didn't really care too much about, but I always was kind of intrigued because her weapon is pretty cool. I always thought she was pretty cool when I played Path of Radiance. So yeah, let's see what she got. So she's got null follow-up, and then she inflicts penalties on attack, speed, and resistance. Resistance makes sense because she actually targets resistance when she's healthy, instead of like adaptive, like some sort of adaptive damage similar to like dragons, which is what I would have expected, but instead it's just going straight to resistance, which could be a good or bad thing, depending on the matchups. If you're going against someone like a fallen or like a legendary Julia, it's really not gonna help you out a lot. So yeah, I think I would prefer it if it was adaptive, but yeah, it is what it is. And then she also gets essentially like the counter roar effect, where she reduces damage and then she dishes damage back out, like increased damage on the next hit, which is interesting. I don't know if this is referencing her internalized rage or whatever. I don't really remember the character of Petrine that much, except I remember she is branded, or at least it's heavily implied that she's a branded. So I don't know if there's any sort of pent-up frustration or anything on her end that it's referencing, but as far as I can tell from what most people have been saying, it's not a, oh, we got a Felix Hugo Fraudarius. Okay, cool, not bad. I love godlike reflexes. Actually, his fodder is pretty fucking good. Not gonna lie, it's pretty dang good. Don't tell Oblivion I said that. Okay, cool. But yeah, Petrine, I've heard people say it's not good. I think it's not bad, but I'm not gonna say it's good either. Oh my god, not you again. I thought I put that restraining order in, bitch. Ooh, it's another Julia, Ascended Julia. I mean, oh my god, another plus attack. Wow. Normally I should be happy about 5 stars, but I'm just like slightly scarred by this unit. I got a history with this unit. She's at plus 10, one of the accidental plus 10s that I've gotten throughout the years. I like her art. I like this unit a lot, but man, when she kept coming instead of Alfred, I was not a happy camper. Let's just put it that way. So yeah. Okay, on to our next spark. And I guess we'll go for Vale. And then I guess we'll try to get Ursula afterwards, if we can, with our orbs. So here is Vale. Very nice to get her. Yeah, I remember that crown thing, that fell crown or whatever. It was pretty cool. I am Vale, the fell princess and father's only living child. Give me the emblem rings. Well, sorry, we only have 2 so far. You're gonna have to wait until more release. I believe maybe next month. So, you gotta be patient, bitch. Okay, so we still got a little over 100 orbs. Can we get Ursula? I don't know. We'll see. Let's see. Man, we've got a lot of pity breaks. Not cool. If I keep sniping blue, I should get Ursula because we have the stupid summon charge bubble shits filled up. So, eventually we should be getting her. Oh my god, what do I do in this situation? I guess green? I wouldn't mind getting another Nurgle, honestly. So yeah, we're just gonna snipe blues, but okay, so in general, from the vibe I got regarding the refines, I think most people are pretty lukewarm about it. They're not bad. None of them are like, I feel like none of them are straight up just shit, but none of them are like meta warping or anything by any means. The closest thing is probably Byleth, but even then it's not like super great. It's just whatever, you know? So yeah, you know, sometimes you just don't get home runs every time. You just get normal ones, and that's fine, you know? If we get meta warping stuff all the time, then I think we'd get some fatigue. I think we're already a bit fatigued with this game sometimes, so sometimes keeping it nice and slow and steady is perfectly fine for me. So yeah, that about covers the refines. Something else I want to go over were my Hall of Forms pickups. I mentioned these in my stream the other day. By the way, want to let you know that I have been streaming semi-regularly. Been streaming some Fire Emblem Fates Birthrights. I'm playing some real-ass Fire Emblem games, not a gacha Fire Emblem. So if that's interesting to you, you should check it out, because we do some interesting things like... Now I kind of want to sing now. When Big Larry came down just to put him down, SpongeBob turned into a clown, and no girl ever wants to dance with the fool who went and ripped his pants. So yeah, if that's if that's interesting to you, I would join. It's not a bad time. It's pretty fun. I will say that. Not biased or anything. Also, another thing I want to discuss. Yeah. What I want to say was my Hall of Forms. So I picked up Alfred and Alear. I know people say don't pick up Alfred because he cannot inherit, you know, the rearmed inherit, and it is true. His like arcane like symbol thing is already just not filled up, so that is quite a shame. It is what it is. But I really thought for Alfred at least they would have made an exception, but nope, they just destroyed my dreams as usual. But anyways, here are what they look like. So here is Alfred. Yeah, I decided to have more fun with him, because the build that Phoenix Master was touting is basically the build that I already have on my Alfred. So there's no point in going for it, especially since he can't use it to fight or duplicate anyways. So what I instead did was try to do a speed build with varying degrees of success. So yeah, he's got Flared Sparrow, Flow Desperation, which if he's able to, he is able to hit 4 times in a row, which isn't too bad. Yeah, and then Kumo Naginata. Yeah, it's probably like one of the best like brave hitting inheritable weapon right now. And it's pretty good. And then Incite Attack Speed. I'm just trying to stack as much speed as I can on him. Again, with varying degrees of success, because his base speed is garbage. It is not good. But I had fun using him. And you know, sometimes that's what really matters in life, is that I had fun with Alfred, and Alfred's one of my favorites. Despite him already being plus 10, I wanted to get this because I like Alfred. You know, sometimes it's as simple as that. Next up is female Alear. This one is pretty close to the Phoenix Master build, except I could never find attack speed finish 4. So what I did was I went for attack speed prime 4. Right off the bat, she's not able to proc it. Oh, yes! 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 Alright, we got everyone on the banner. Nice! That is awesome. I am Ursula, the Black Crow. I have value. I will prove it to you. And I really don't remember this lady's character. Was she like, she wanted to prove her value or something? I really don't remember her. I just remember that she's got a lot of alts in Fae for some reason. Whereas a lot of units that are playable and pretty popular don't have a single other alt, which I am shocked with, but it's still pretty cool to get her. Yeah, Verge of Death, definitely really nice. A power crept version of Life or Death, Life and Death. So that's pretty awesome. The rest of the build is quite literally like the rearmed Reinhardt build, which is pretty good. Although defense res smoke 3, I don't know if that really synergizes with this too well. You might want to give her something else. Some sort of like insight skill would probably be better. But yeah, overall, really excited about her. I think she is underrated for sure on this banner. I think she's probably the most underrated. I think she's going to be pretty good as a nuke. So I would possibly watch out for her just in case. And also her supporting is really good. Like giving desperation to your allies, that is really good. Do not underestimate desperation. It's better than brave in most cases, because now that we have damage reduction that also applies to brave attacks, desperation bypasses that, and also bypasses things like, yes, it bypasses Nurgle. That's what I meant to say. Nice. All right, that is actually pretty awesome. Nice. This is what happens when you get summon bubble charge shits. I feel like I say a different word for it every time. This is minus attack. That is not as good, but I'm still happy to get him. His fodder is pretty nice, so I am happy regardless. So yeah. Wow, okay, cool. It started out a little bad. Okay, when I mean bad, I mean pity break heavy, but yeah, we ended up getting some pretty decent stuff, I'm not gonna lie. Good thing that there were the 2 sparks, otherwise I might have been a little bit angry. Not gonna lie, but yeah, we still came out with everyone on the banner, and we made some pretty decent value from these bubbles here. And yeah, I think that about covers this summoning session. Yeah, not bad, not one of my greatest ones ever, but yeah, again, not too bad. I was able to get everyone, and as a completionist / collector, that is what's the most important to me. So yeah, let me know if you summoned on this banner. Did you go for 1 spark, 2 spark, free summon? Let me know how it went. I'm always curious about how y'all are doing in the gacha landscape. In any case, I hope you all enjoyed me summoning on the latest Fallen Heroes banner. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.